On September 30th, 2017, an 11-year-old British national named Alex Batty departed Greater Manchester, England, for what was registered as a 7-day family vacation to Marbella, Spain. The travel had been legally authorized by his maternal grandmother and sole legal guardian, Susan Caruana. The child was accompanied by his biological mother, Melanie Batty, and his grandfather, David Batty, neither of whom possessed legal custody due to previous family court interventions linked to systemic neglect. The group did not return on the specified date of October 8th. On that morning, Caruana received an encrypted video transmission via a social media account. In the recording, Melanie Batty stated that she had permanently removed Alex from the United Kingdom to prevent his exposure to mainstream educational systems and state authority, which she characterized as a form of spiritual programming. In February 2018, the Greater Manchester Police Counter-Human Trafficking Unit obtained international arrest warrants for Melanie and David Batty on charges of parental-child abduction. For 6 years, the trio functioned as a transient collective, moving across the mountainous terrain of Morocco, southern Spain, and the remote Ariège department of southwestern France. They operated completely off the digital grid. They possessed no banking accounts, no cellular contracts, and no static addresses, residing in tents, primitive eco-communes, and abandoned stone farmhouses. Their physical infrastructure consisted of portable solar panels, water filtration units, and a small stock of esoteric literature. Alex received 0 formal education, 0 medical assessments, and was restricted from interacting with any individuals outside the immediate alternative communities. By his 14th year, Alex's role shifted from a dependent to a primary labor source. He was forced to execute manual construction, timber harvesting, and demolition work within the rural communes to generate the cash required to purchase bulk grain and propane. He later testified that during the entire 6-year window, he managed to establish only 1 conversation with a peer of his own age. The fracture of the structure occurred on December 11th, 2023, following a prolonged verbal dispute with his mother regarding her plan to relocate the group to a deeper wilderness zone in Finland. Alex composed a short note expressing personal affection, but stating he could no longer participate in the isolation. He departed the camp on foot during a heavy rain event, carrying only a canvas backpack, a directional flashlight, and a skateboard. At 3 o'clock in the morning on December 13th, 26-year-old delivery driver Fabian Accidini was navigating a commercial van along a flooded mountain pass near the village of Chalabre. He noted a young male walking along the asphalt edge in absolute darkness, drenched by the downpour. Accidini stopped and offered transport. After an hour of evasive conversation during which Alex utilized a false French alias, the boy admitted his identity and requested a cellular connection. He transmitted a text message to his grandmother's secure line. "Hello, Grandma. It's me, Alex. I am in France, near Toulouse. I love you. I want to come home." Accidini routed the vehicle to the gendarmerie station in the nearby municipality of Revel. French federal authorities validated the identity within 24 hours through the Interpol Red Notice Index. During the initial forensic debriefing with French prosecutors, Alex introduced multiple deliberate falsehoods to insulate his mother from immediate tactical tracking. He stated that he had been walking through the mountains for 4 consecutive days, that his grandfather had died 6 months prior from natural causes, and that his mother had already crossed the international border into Northern Europe. A subsequent field investigation by French authorities confirmed that David Batty was alive and residing at an active eco-farm less than 12 miles from the point where Alex had been picked up. Alex later admitted the fabrication, stating he wished to secure his own exit without causing the immediate incarceration of his lineage. The legal resolution of the file exposed a significant gap between international police intent and localized compliance. On December 22, 2023, Greater Manchester Police initiated a comprehensive child abduction file. However, on January 22, 2025, the department issued an administrative notice closing the active investigation without prosecution. Alex had formally declined to provide state witness statements against his mother or grandfather, and his grandmother concurred with the decision to block trial proceedings. A structural failure within the European Educational Alert Network was also exposed during the final review. In November 2023, 1 month prior to his escape, Alex had walked into a regional school building in Quillan, France, attempting to register for basic courses. Because he lacked standard identification papers or a localized birth record, the administration turned him away, routing a manual report to local police lines. The report was filed as a low-level immigration anomaly and was never cross-referenced against the active Missing Children Index. Alex Batty returned to Greater Manchester before the winter of 2023, resuming residency with his grandmother. In 2024, he secured an educational placement at Oldham College, specializing in software development and computer science architectures. He completed his 19th year in February 2025. Melanie Batty remains at large. Her last documented trace was an anonymous email routed to a former French landlord, indicating she had transitioned to a deeper, nomadic circle. No active search is currently being executed by British authorities. The back door of the residential property near 45th Avenue and Rose Lane in Glendale, Arizona, remained unlatched at 6 o'clock in the morning on September 15th, 2019. On the kitchen table, adjacent to an unpowered cellular telephone and a laptop computer lacking its corresponding charging cables, lay a single sheet of lined notebook paper. The handwriting was identified as belonging to 14-year-old Alicia Navarro. The note read, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry." Alicia had been diagnosed with high-functioning autism spectrum profile, balanced by an immune deficiency disorder that required strict daily pharmaceutical management. She was described by school administrators as an absolute homebody, whose social interactions were confined to online, multiplayer gaming environments, specifically creative servers within Minecraft and Roblox. Her sudden departure was a complete rupture of her established behavioral footprint. The initial forensic sweep of her computer hardware by the Glendale Police Department and the FBI Cybercrimes Task Force revealed that the internal hard drive had been systematically scrubbed using a third-party data deletion utility 3 hours before her departure. The physical evidence at the scene consisted of 2 plastic patio chairs stacked against the 7-foot masonry perimeter wall of the rear yard, indicating she had climbed over the boundary to avoid the electronic sensor on the front security door. For 46 months, the search yielded 0 actionable data. Alicia's mother, Jessica Nunez, ran a highly visible media operation, purchasing commercial billboard placements along the primary transportation corridors of California, Nevada, and the international border crossing at Nogales, Mexico. A $20,000 reward fund was held by local banks. Over 9,000 separate tips were logged by Glendale detectives. Every lead terminated in a dead end. The structural transition of the case occurred on July 23, 2023. An 18-year-old female walked into the public lobby of the Havre City Police Department in Havre, Montana, a small agricultural municipality located 40 miles from the Canadian border and 1,400 miles north of Glendale. She approached the duty desk, produced her original Arizona birth data, and requested she be removed from the active juvenile missing persons registry so she could secure a valid Montana driver's license. She was alone. Glendale detectives executed an immediate video interrogation via a secure line. When questioned by a forensic interviewer regarding whether she had been held against her volition or subjected to physical harm, Alicia stated, "No, no one hurt me." She refused to provide the specific geographic coordinates of her residency within Havre or name any secondary parties involved in her transport. 3 days later, following an independent neighborhood canvass, Havre police officers and federal agents executed a federal search warrant at a low-rent apartment complex located 3 blocks from the police station. The occupant was identified as 36-year-old Edmund Davis. Neighbors testified that Alicia had resided within the small one-bedroom apartment for approximately 14 months, rarely departing the interior during daylight hours. During the physical breach of the apartment, Davis was observed by a tactical officer removing his cellular telephone from his pocket and throwing it into a deep trash receptacle, attempting to conceal the device beneath heavy household waste. The phone was recovered and transferred to a forensic data recovery unit. The extraction did not yield evidence directly linking Davis to the initial 2019 crossing from Arizona, but the deep directory search recovered 84 distinct image files containing explicit child abuse material depicting children under 13 years of age. The legal system faced a complex evidentiary problem. Alicia was 14 when she departed Arizona, and Davis was 32. However, due to her refusal to testify against him and the total absence of physical transport records from 2019, prosecutors could not fulfill the statutory requirements to charge Davis with interstate kidnapping or minor abduction under federal guidelines. The state of Montana proceeded strictly on the digital forensics recovered from the trash receptacle. In October 2023, Davis was arraigned on 2 state felony counts of possession of explicit material depicting minors. He entered a plea of not guilty, which he maintained for 11 months as his defense team attempted to suppress the phone data based on the mechanics of the search warrant execution. In September 2024, the court denied the suppression motion. Recognizing that a conviction at trial would trigger consecutive maximum terms, Davis executed a single count guilty plea. On February 11, 2025, a Montana District Court judge issued a sentence of 100 years in the Montana State Prison, ordering that 50 years of the term be suspended, with an absolute restriction on parole eligibility until 25 physical years had been served in maximum confinement. The court noted that Davis displayed a total absence of autonomic remorse during the reading of the victim parameters. The Glendale Police Department file regarding the initial 2019 departure remains classified as active and open. The operational theory maintained by federal cyber analysts suggests a long-term online grooming process executed through an unindexed chat channel within a gaming platform, which culminated in an arranged physical extraction at the rear wall of the Arizona residence. The identity of the vehicle operator who completed the 1,400-mile transit to Montana has not been established. Alicia Navarro is 20 years of age, has relocated to an undisclosed state with her mother, and is undergoing specialized cognitive adaptation therapy while preparing for university enrollment.